Hello, hello, hello. Just working some magic here. All right, good. We're all in. How exciting. I am Molly Sleuth. I have done some things, nobody cares. And I am joined by my favorite person in fucking Michigan. Thank you so much for coming, Kimmi. Kimmi, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kimmi.
Hi, Kimmi.
That's all you got?
Hi,
Do you do
that's all I got
things?
right now.
Okay.
I do a lot of things.
You
But we'll get
do a
into
lot of
that
things.
after.
We'll get into that. And Randy, introduce yourself.
I'm Randy, one of Molly's besties. I thought when she said favorite person, she meant me, but I'll cry later.
I don't know where the line is. East of Chicago, west of Chicago. That's how you guys are. So tonight, and also we got Big Hair Tsunami in the chat, rocking it. Hi, Chickaboom. Hi, everybody. Danielle is going to join us at some point. There was drama. She's in a snowstorm, crawling her way home. So she will just pop in. And tonight we want to talk about how freaking dumb we are and like why, like what's going on. And in fact, it's really funny because we're going to have I made a little quiz. Well, it's 12 signs of intelligence, and I happened to spell intelligence wrong on there. So it's already a good start. It's been a long day so far. I'm moving. Life sucks. My hands are like sad little things. Randy, do you want to start us off? Because I'm still fucking with my notes.
Yes. So the stupification of America. I'm just going to go through 7 quick bullet points, but we'll go one by one.
Yeah.
First off, this is intentional. Educated people are not easy to wrangle or handle. So this has been done by, and take it from there, guys.
That's interesting. Yes. Do they want us dumb? For sure. But also intelligence, just innate intelligence is all jacked up. But it was funny because I was watching all these videos on this and people were saying, oh, the human brain has gotten smaller. We have less neurons now. It used to be the size of a football. We've lost like a baseball size amount of like brain matter and how we're like on this downswing. But these guys all had like, they were like, oh yeah. And a sign of low IQ is like, if you believe in conspiracy theories, anti-vaxxers, QAnon. And I was like, what? We'll get into that when we go through the 12 signs of intelligence. But like, it's just like, isn't that a sign, hint it is, of intelligence to be able to like look beyond what they're telling you? Like, hey, Randy, the sky is purple. Oh, it must be purple then. Like, no, if you just, no, it's not actually. I see evidence that it's not purple. It's called eyesight and it's actually gray right now. But I did think it was really funny on these stupid YouTubes that they were talking about like anti-vaxxers. Like, okay, sure.
Oh, yeah. Kimmi, thoughts? Thoughts, Kimmi?
My thoughts are that they've tried so many times to do different things to control population, and the outcome only is that everybody needs to be a lot dumber. So they're going to input all this technology to be able to get more control over all of the population at all times. I mean, we've had a lot of different situations where, we had riots here in Michigan, and it was very close to my house. Like, you got nervous. You were thinking we were going to have to like board up the house and do things because it was going right down the main road. And then all of a sudden, like, there was a break in society of like, oh my God, the government knew things and knew that they weren't going to make the small groups and the protests, and they decided to do more technology. Apparently, Michigan got approved shortly thereafter for $25 billion worth of Go Green, and we're going to put all these stations to do all the charging stations and the drones and all this. And my old career used to be in drones for all the police departments and all the things, and they weren't buying drones. So where'd all this $25 billion thing that got approved go? But they're convincing everybody that we're going to make us a green eco whatever electric whatever. It's not a thing. It's just a distraction, and they're trying to dumb us down to make us rely on technology so they can have control over all the things that we are doing every day just to breathe air and go to the bathroom. They're going to try to control it.
It's like with credit cards, just one little tiny one on that. Like the average a-hole in the drive-through cannot make freaking change anymore. You hand them cash and they look at you like you're fucking crazy. And it'll be like $13.76. So then I'll give like $20.01 because I want a quarter back. And they'll just be like, and then they'll give me 24 cents and my penny back. Like, okay, can I take this 24 cents and the penny and could you make a quarter out of it? Oh no, the change was 24 cents. And if I give you this penny, then I could actually get a quarter back. It's so weird how that works. Oh yeah, but the change was 20. All right. Like it really is like, what the hell? How are people this dumb? And Randy and I talk about this all the time. It's like, I don't feel like we were like the sharpest crayons in the box, but I feel like sometimes when we're talking, it's like, what the hell is going on? And you'll see that with these like man on the street interviews where these people think that there's like 52 states or like, when was the War of 1812? And they're like, 1995? And you're like, how is this possible? Like, name 2 continents. Paris?
You know what's really great? When you go to the local pub for the trivia night and nobody knows a single fact about anything, and then they realize that, so they decide to make all the questions about like the dumbest things that like anybody would know. Like, it's the stupidest thing. You have to know no facts about anything.
Yeah, I mean, they'll ask questions that seem so basic, like, well, who was the first president or something? And they're asking an American citizen, you know, and, Obama, like, could you name, how many Kardashians can you name? Well, there's this one and that one and the other one and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, like, and they know everything about the Kardashians. And I really think that like that whole Kardashian culture is sort of where like we kind of obviously got on the downswing, because it's now like you're rewarded for not offering anything to the world. Like you don't have to make people think. You can just like have a voice that's like this and talk about your fucking salad. And people are like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch next week to find out what color her nails are. And it's like, it's just fucking crazy to me. All right, let me go to the chat. You guys talk. Randy, go on to your next one.
All right. Number 2, America used to be a safe place to be stupid. We trusted our establishments and institutions, and they played us. Entertainment, political parties, one in particular, especially the media and academics. Thoughts, ladies.
Go, Kimmi.
Go, Kimmi.
We were just talking about this before we went on. I said that I wanted to touch in. So what bothers me the most is we're like the United States we're the most obese country, right? But what I've learned through my nieces are that they don't have gym. Gym in high school is 1 semester for your entire high school career. So that is like 3 months. They have to go to a gym class. Other than that, they're doing no physical activity the entire year. And then they're not allowed to use lockers anymore because nobody has books, because everything is through Chromebooks. Schools now loan out Chromebooks to give to their students, and it's all a digital learning platform, which if I ever went to school back then, I would have failed everything, because I can't learn off of a digital nothing like that. No. So you're making us, we don't know how to read. We don't know what encyclopedias are. We don't know how to find information other than being able to type in words and hope Google tells us the things. And now we also do not know physical activity at all. We're just programmed to be sitting at a desk on a computer, remaining unhealthy. It's horrible.
Yeah, and I think along with everything, and somebody asked, yes, I am Kate's big sister in more ways than one. And just to announce myself, since most people know who I am, but I mean, not the internet, because I'm not that cool. But I was a teenage piece of shit on the goth dance floor in Los Angeles for many years. And then I joined LAPD and I became a detective. I taught interview and interrogation tactics, body language, and lie detection for the department. And then I gave it all away and moved to the beautiful Midwest. And now I work for a fire department here. And I just was doing stuff. My friends all are super interesting. So we just decided to fuck around. And Kate said that she would give us her channel to commandeer with our nonsense. And so that's basically what we're doing. But along with the what you were saying with the iPads and everything being digital, it's like with Wikipedia and stuff, you can change the facts like any minute now. And so it's like there really isn't any facts anymore. And I mean, I know that you have a shit ton of books, Kimmi. I've given you box after box myself.
Yep.
And it's like, if you don't have it in that format, what happens when they flip the fucking switch? I mean, there are people who could not find Albuquerque on a map, much less get in their car and drive there without turn-by-turn directions, on a screen. People don't know how to set a trap to catch a rabbit or forge a sword or can fruit for the winter. Like, we've really lost a lot of these skills. And now we've just relegated AI to do all the thinking for us. So it's doing all of our programming and our writing and all our creativity. And then we're just watching TV and, like doing the dishes. Like, how come the fucking robot's not doing the part I don't want to do? Like, make the robot do the dishes. And it really is becoming more and more like the Morlocks and the Eloi of the Time Machine. The Time Machine's an old book by a famous sci-fi writer. I can't think of his name, H.G. Wells. And essentially, this scientist guy goes into the future, and he goes way into the future, and he finds this race of people, and they're all young and so beautiful, and they don't have a care in the world. And just to simplify, we'll talk about the movie, but there's obviously a book that started it. And so he goes, and these beautiful Eloi are there, and he's like, so where do you get your clothes? It is provided for us. Everything is provided for us. Okay, do you guys have any books? Books? Yeah, how do you learn shit? Learn? We don't need to learn anything. And so in seeing this race of dumbasses, he's just like, there's got to be more to the future than this. They have fruit and they hang out, but they are not really there. They're really dumb. And then he finds this really ugly race of people called the Morlocks that live below the ground. And they're the ones toiling and doing all the work and everything. And really they are the humans. They are the hard workers that are under there. And these beautiful Eloi that are up on the crust of the planet, they're just fucking cattle. And essentially when the Morlocks, it's time for dinner, they just ring the little bell and they just come to the bell yeah, I don't know, we just come when we're called, and they get fucking eaten. And so he tries to save them. There's one hot dumb blonde chick, and he's like, I fucking want to be about that. And in the end he decides that he is going to stay there. But he does go back to his time, which is it's all placed in Victorian time. And so he takes, I think, 3 books with him or something. And these scientists are like, man, if you went to that time, what 3 books would you bring? If you're going to start a fucking race from scratch and teach these dumbasses. And he wants to go and kill the Morlocks. Why not go be with the Morlocks and eat the fucking Eloi? They're worthless. But anyway, that's different. Anyway, I went on my science fiction rant. Oh, Kimmy's gone. She'll be back.
Maybe she liked the Eloi.
Yeah,
Well,
Eloi.
Well, would you like me to go to number 3?
Yeah.
All right. The saying in the 2000s on the right was WMD's, if you don't do such and such, the terrorists have already won. For the left, it's Russiagate and Ovid. Everyone's a racist if you don't believe in climate change or love Hunter Biden. Thoughts on how it's gone? The pendulum is swung.
Are you just talking about how basically they're just telling you what to think? Like, okay, so this issue has popped up and this is what side you need to take, instead of like how we used to debate and how the news used to just be the news. And there wasn't all this opinion piece shit element to it. Like now it's like you just see the CNN death tracker and it's like, oh, I must go get boosted. Like we're not seeing both sides of it. We used to. There was a lot more integrity with the media.
Well, if you're vaccinated and boosted and you have a question, oh, you're a vaccinator. What are you talking about? So, oh, you're a plague rat or a super spreader. You're trying to kill Granny. I'm vaccinated, though. I just have a question. I have one question. How come those guys can go protest and it's a super spreader event, but I can go on the other side because you agree with my politics? I'm not going to get COVID. Just questions like that. And we're not allowed to have those discussions.
Yeah, I mean, COVID was just abject retardation from the very fucking get-go. But it's like, oh, okay, so we all have to go donate our body to a science experiment that killed all the ferrets. Don't mind that. But now we can, like, you can save lives. You just have to walk northbound on the Fruity Pebbles aisle. Like, don't walk southbound. You'll kill grandmas. Like, like, wait, we shouldn't even be eating Fruity Pebbles. Wait, how come the strip club's open? How come the gym is closed? What's going on? Like, it was so dumb. Standing on your little dot. Can I just go on a rant for a second? Where's my rant glasses? I got in a fight on Christmas Eve in the freaking Honey Baked Ham store. So it was like, right, it was when they were making people stand on the fucking dot. And so I go in, I'm just trying to pick up my stupid ham for Christmas, and I'm on my fucking dot, and there's some lady in front of me. And look, I already knew potentially which way she voted politically because she has short purple hair. She's morbidly obese. And so, not to say, I mean, I had blue hair and played drums in a punk band. I was also a liberal then. But anyway, point is, the guy who was at the register was done. So he leaves. So she moves up from her dot to the register, but the lady behind the cash register isn't ready yet. I've already moved up a dot. She goes to like come back. I gotta show you what she did. So she comes to go back to her dot, and she sees that I'm standing on the dot, and there was just like panic. What do I do? She's on the dot. Like, all right, don't fucking tell the governor. Like, I don't need to spend Christmas in jail. I'm moving back a dot. So I moved back my dot, and it's just so stupid.
I just caught up.
This was unplanned.
So I moved back my dot, and I'm like, okay, don't tell, the governor. I don't want to spend, whatever in jail tonight. And she just looks at me like, how fucking dare you? So I could see the bristling hair on the back of her neck. And I'm like, I know she's going to say something. I know she's going to say something. And she totally did. She's got like 17 masks on, right? And she turns around and through her like muffled face goes, I'm saving lives. I'm like, okay, let's get something straight here. You're in a ham store. You're not saving shit. If you're sick, you're risking lives. And if you're not sick, you're not saving shit. You're in a fucking ham store. And so then she like screams. She goes, screw you. And then like the cashier lady wanted to like kick her out. And I just looked at the cashier like, I don't know what set her off. Hypoxia from the mask, I guess. But it's just like, how fucking dumb. What are you saving? You are sick. You are not sick. You're not saving anything. Anyway, rant over. What's your next one, Randy?
So number 5 and 6 are going to be connected because
Okay.
I've never seen this level of stupidity, dumbest generation, and I mean all of us, everyone who's alive, I've ever seen. Half of the U.S. doesn't understand the ingredients of stupidity. I'll go over that in a second. Molly and I, as former police, have seen stupidity point blank in our careers. We also saw what we at the time thought was peak stupidity. Kimmi, Molly.
Dude, what was the dumbest thing you ever saw on patrol?
Dumbest thing I ever saw in patrol. Give me a second.
Okay, you
You're
think
gonna
about
have to
that.
tell me. Oh,
Kimmi,
I
go
got you.
ahead.
I got you. I got
Okay,
you.
yeah,
I got
go.
you. Young man comes out of the back of someone's house and he's carrying a TV. This lady just came home. She's all pissed off from work. And she's like, you guys got nothing better to do than to harass people in the neighborhood. And she's screaming at the top of her lungs. They call their supervisor, like, what should we do? They're like, so what do you have? There's this young dude, he's got a TV, and there's a broken window, and this lady's screaming at us at the top of her lungs. Come back to the station. They go back to the station. They work out the rest of their shift. The next day, go see the watch commander. What's going on? You have a complaint because you didn't do anything for that burglary. What burglary? You let the young man get away with the TV, and the lady's here to complain about it. So instead of saying, maybe the cops are doing their job, idiot, and it's not a skin color thing. So she came and complained about her being the fact that those kids got released. That's the dumbest thing I saw on patrol.
I don't know why this one just popped in my head, but I pulled over a lady, blew a stop sign, and pulled her over, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And she's like, it's my dog's birthday. I'm sorry? It's my dog's birthday. I didn't realize that there was a exemption of the California Vehicle Code for dogs' fucking birthday. Like, what if somebody else has a dog's birthday and they blow through the stop sign going northbound, and and now you guys are in a big fucking accident because 2 dogs' birthdays meeting in the fucking. Are you sign here? Press hard. 3 copies. Like, that girl was dumb.
Thoughts, Kimmi, on anything that we've covered?
I've seen a lot of dumb shit from human beings. Yeah. Well, I used to work with emotionally disturbed kids for about 6 years. I worked in a residential setting and then a outpatient school setting. And the best thing I've ever seen was this mother who like almost lost her entire family, all of her children. She had 3 children in our system. She came into a teacher conference with but we had no idea. She just kept going like this. And we're like, what's happening over there? And she's a very tiny woman. And she goes, oh, it's my friend. And she went like this. And there's like a whole wild squirrel in her pocket. Like, she thought that, this is when I lived in New York, she thought that it would be okay to come into a teacher behavior plan setup conference thing for your 3 kids that are this close to being taken away from you by the state to bring a squirrel in your pocket because that's the right thing. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen some stupid shit.
I want a squirrel in my pocket.
Yeah. It was a rabid wild squirrel, Molly. You didn't want this squirrel. He was crazy. And he was in my classroom and I was like, what is going on? I usually have to like restrain children, not squirrels. I don't know what's happening.
There has never been a case of squirrel to human rabies transmission.
This was a
Really?
rabid,
I would
vicious
kiss that
pocket
little squirrel. Don't even start with me. We need a squirrel emoji next week. Oh, if you guys are on the Molly Sleuth channel, I put some real festive emotes there, including some titties. There are some really good ones that I found, but I have to make them in a square format. And we all know that I'm honorary Amish, so it's going to take a little learning curve for me to figure that out. What else do you got, Randy?
Really fast, something. Huh? I'm going to keep dabbing my eyes, and I want people to think I'm crying over this stuff. I just have a medical situation, so I have to constantly dab my eyes, and I didn't want people to think I was a hot mess crying over how dumb our society is.
It's okay. Well, I'm going to finish before my 30 minutes is up. So
30 minutes? Oh, I didn't know we had time limits here.
Oh, yeah, she's crying about it. So, so number 7, stupidity, evil, and cowardice got married. We live in a time where we, the people, the street Joe, begs, govern me harder, daddy. It was cool to be stupid back in like the 70s and 80s Spicoli from, was it Harsh Times at Cooley High or whatever?
Hard Times at Richmond.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about, where he orders the pizza. I don't know that it was cool to be dumb then. It was like dumb to be dumb then, and people were there for it because it was like funny to be dumb. Now, like everybody's dumb, and that's why I can't watch shows like Beavis and Butthead or The Simpsons or all that stuff. Every fucking joke is about how somebody is so dumb.
However,
Right,
the Simpsons is the prediction thing.
Say again, Kimmy?
The Simpsons is the prediction thing, and I like to announce that they were absolutely correct about what's happening starting Monday in Michigan. The Simpsons episode, whatever it was, predicted that on January 19th to the 25th would be extreme cold, phones won't work, it's bad. We're going to be -2 on Tuesday or whatever it is. It's like a whole thing. So I don't watch the Simpsons show, but I watch their prediction video things, and like it's a real thing. So I'll get on board with that. Somebody who's writing that knows things, but
you think that they
The rest
know
of the
like what's
dumb
going
shit.
on in the world, and then they're working on The Simpsons? Is that what you think?
oh, I think whoever is the producer or writer of The Simpsons has a very intuitive mind and can experience things that are about to happen. That's what I think, like psychic abilities almost. Because I looked up today, I actually went down this rabbit hole, and they even predicted like that Kamala Harris was going to wear a purple pantsuit on a specific day. And I was like, okay, like there's something going on there. But with
I
this
don't even know
cold,
what
I didn't
I'm wearing tomorrow. How do they know
But
that?
I'm telling you, with this cold spell that's coming, that's like predicted by our weather team, and then it was like specifically those dates, January 19th to the 25th, and like on our weather radar, that's like what we're going through. I'm like, okay, I'm in. I've got it. Yeah. It's a real thing.
I don't know, but I have a really dumb. We tasted a naked chick over at, who's the guy, Seth MacFarlane? Is that his name? That does the other stuff. So this is a juicy story. I probably shouldn't tell it, but who cares? I already stepped in it. So Seth MacFarlane owns this like beautiful house. Kimmy's hiding. And this girl goes, and there's so many employees there. She just lets herself into the house, and she goes in this auxiliary room where there's like a piano, and the maid is just like, can I help you? Like, oh, I'm waiting for my date with Seth. Like, oh, okay. So the maid just goes all about her day. And this fucking crazy chick who drove from like Idaho or something, she had like MapQuest printed out, like drove, like parked on this like ice plant fucking hill with her car all fucked. Found his address, whatever. And she's like going through his baby books, and it's been like a couple hours. So the maid calls Seth and goes, you're just to let you know, like your date is here, like waiting. Like, who? Call the police, right? So then we show up, and this girl's fucking crazy. She's nuts. We had a taser. It was really fucking tasty. Anyway, I don't know why that story popped up. Okay, I'm still working on the chat here. Since I'm
Danielle
done, says it's not in my email, so let me send another little invite. I swear I sent you guys the freaking thing. Give me a second.
So since you're doing that,
yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to add my stupefication stuff. I don't know if something's in the water. I don't know if it's TV. I don't know if it's the media, but we're just so. And I have a high school diploma and a little bit of college, and I can see through all this nonsense. Like, I can go to this protest, but not this protest. I can understand what happens when you defang the police, because everyone's like, we didn't defund them. But when you attack them and you're like, hey, you demoralize them, you want to tickle criminals, I don't understand why crime went up. Like, just simple stuff like that.
Well, that's a whole lot. But yes, there is shit in the water. And when Kimmi returns, we will talk about fluoride. Oh, okay. I'm on a different window because I just sent Danielle through. Oh, wait, hold on. Danielle's here. I'm trying to do a lot, people.
You have a tail?
I do. I just got one on the way over.
Oh, smoke.
Here's the thing about people with cats. You are so close to other assholes, like a lot.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Randy, Kara wants to know where you got those fucking glasses, and hopefully they're not yours.
They're not mine. I found them in a vehicle that we were going to destroy, so.
They're totally rad. They're like B-52s or something.
And it wasn't planned. None of this was planned. The whole glasses thing with Kimmi and you and me.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Keystone
Hi,
Channel.
Danielle.
Okay, Danielle, give me 1 second. Keystone Channel is here from Holland. We had a foreign exchange student from Holland. Did Kate ever tell you that? She was kind of a bitch. Can you go find her? I forgot her name already. But anyway, it's a small place. You could find her. And it says, it's a shame Molly can't see her awesome stickers on Pilled. Yeah, I'm kind of like honorary Amish. Like I've tried to join some things. I did join Pilled. A stranger followed me on Twitter today. I was very excited. I felt very cool. But yeah, I don't know how you guys how do you log into 79,000 portals to say hi to each other? It's like beyond the ability. Okay, Cat's asshole. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Danielle. I'm Molly's feline-friendly friend from where we met in California in the Death Rock days. Now I'm in the Rocky Mountains. I swear, he'll jump down in a second. My apologies for being late. I was battling an abominable snowman.
I know. That's crazy. I'm glad you made it.
Made it
well.
But I was listening.
Your hair looks amazing.
Your hair looks nice. It does look good.
I was listening in the car. I loved the ham story. That was my favorite.
That girl was just so dumb. I'm saving lives. Like, you're in a ham store.
You're in a ham store. That should be it.
You're in a ham store.
We need a sampler of that. Yeah.
Okay. I think I've actually caught up on everything. All right. Keystone Channel says hi to you, Danielle. And okay, let's see. All right, I'm all caught up. Randy, do you have any more?
No. Danielle, did you have any thoughts on any of them? From one that I know, how it's intentional, how America used to be a safe place, how it went back and forth, this alternative information. The other stuff is kind of like between me and Molly with the police stuff and Kimmi. But do you have any input on any of this?
I'll say no for now, but I think things will probably pop up as we're talking. I'm still settling my brain into my seat here, but I did enjoy all the stories, and I lost a thought. I had a thought while I was in the car and it flew away, but just in regards to, I guess, just common sense. Just hearing your stories, a lot of these things don't even sound like common sense, but I don't know where that went.
Yeah, I think we've just kind of stopped exercising our brains. And Kimmi, you're younger than the rest of us, but when we were growing up, our toys were all to foster imagination and science and creativity and learning and growing. And they were all 5 of our senses. And we had all kinds of stuff from my first chemistry set, my first microscope, the make it and bake it oven, and a speak and spell. And we were all playing Trivial Pursuit, and we would go ride our bikes outside and come up with games with the kids of the neighborhood instead of now where everybody's just solo staying with their eyes glued to a fucking screen 29 hours a day. We used to catch frogs and all that stuff. And you remember when we were little, you would watch these shows for kids and they would show you how the orange crayons are made, and you'd see the conveyor belt, and you'd see
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
And it was all about learning. And Simon Says was this memory game that we all did, and the Rubik's Cube and just all of that. And now it's just it sucks, but kids these days just they have TikTok brain. They're binge watching shows and they're just like drooling, just staring at a screen. And it's more about like entertainment than doing anything. Yeah. And the problem with that is like, you know, ask anybody under 40 if they could write a fucking haiku. Like, you know, it's like, although maybe that's not necessary, but I mean, they just don't learn any practical skills about how to do anything.
Yeah, I agree on that. And I think I was talking to you earlier about actually a Simpsons episode. I know Kimmi was talking about that earlier. I actually watched The Simpsons. I know. But they do predict the future. I don't know who those writers are, but they are amazing. But one of my favorite episodes was at the end of the episode, all these kids were watching TV or playing video games and the power went out and they didn't know what to do. And the parents were like, go outside. And the kids are walking outside and their eyes are hurting from the sun. And they're like, oh, just sticks and balls and things I can play with. And then they started having fun. And it was just the juxtaposition of having them sit there like zombies in front of the TV, but then actually go outside, which is something they would not have done had not the power gone out, and really explore life and nature. And they're having fun and riding their bikes and playing with the hose. And yeah, kids don't do that. I have 2 kids, and something funny for me was a couple years ago for Christmas, I got them the VR headset, which is cool. But again, the irony of like, you're in your house on the VR goggles, experiencing reality instead of going outside. And they were like, you got to try it. And I was like, fine, I put it on. And they're like, there's games. What game do you want to play? And there was an office game where you could pretend like you're in an office and like file papers. And I was like, I don't know if I can curse on here, but I was like, what the heck is this? I was like, this is what I do for a living. I don't want to do this as a game. Like, they thought it was the best. And they're like, yeah, let's play the office game. I was like, no, go wash the dishes. Go outside and dig a hole with a spoon or something.
Yeah, and most of those games are so like dopamine driven. Like you were talking earlier about like Candy Crush and stuff, and it's just fries your brain. I mean, like if you've ever played Tetris for any particular length of time, after you're like playing it for a while, everything you see becomes like, I could put a block right there between her shoulder and her ear. Like, it's just like, okay, wait, no.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, the kids, and like, I was watching this one video the other day where the kid was given a cell phone or an iPad or something, and total baby. And they took it away and the kid just was like wailing as if you were hitting him with a hot poker. And then they gave the screen back to him. And it was just like,
yeah,
like, fuck, that's just it's not good for your brain. Step away. I went to go rent my U-Haul today, and she was like, now we just need you to take out your smartphone. And I'm just like, you mean my dumb phone, my 2016 Galaxy J7 Prime? And she's like, and we need you to take a selfie, and then we need you to like, I'm like, I don't have a cell phone. What? Like, just like, no, I don't have a cell phone for you. I'm not taking a fucking selfie. Here's my ID. You're verifying me right in your little fucking face. You don't need to know what I'm wearing today. I'm not uploading shit to your cloud. No, that's not how this works. Anyway, they let me go. Sometimes I'm a dick. Okay. I also want to talk about emojis though, because we've sort of devolved like, in a way, I get it, because when we talk to each other, we look at word choice and word strength and our tone of voice and the body language to get a real clear picture of what the person is talking about. But when you have just text, and texting is very truncated, it's not the flowery, like long letters sealed with a wax seal like that we used to write each other and wait weeks to be able to get, or coming home to that answering machine tape and listening to it. Now it's just like sup with like a fucking eggplant and a jizz thing, and I'm supposed to drive to your house. Like, it's just really fucking devolved. But I do get the emojis, because otherwise, how would you really know like what they're saying, I guess? And I always send the gifts. I love I like finding a good GIF when it comes to making fun of shit. But it's like if Danielle, if you asked me like, how was your date? And I just wrote, he was fine. Then you'd be like, was it boring? Like, did he have was he like hot? Like fine. Like if I put he was fine with like heart eyes, you'd be like, oh, she had a good date. All right. But if I put he was fine and nothing, then it's just like, what does that mean? If I put he was fine and like a shrug, it's like, okay, he was boring. If I put he was fine with like the eye roll, like, oh, she didn't have a good time. If I put he was fine with like a mad face, like, oh shit, he tried to kidnap her. Like we really rely on these emojis now to figure out what we're trying to tell each other. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
Oh no, Kimmi has her hand up.
Oh, go, Kimmi.
I have a super antagonistic, controversial side of that. Okay, so if we rely on emojis and GIFs and all these things, right? We eliminate the psychological part in our brain of actually having emotion and feeling. So when we keep on putting these little, whatever, a little smiley face because your date was fine, but it eliminates the entire, like, you're telling your friend about how the date was, it removes the connection and our actual internal feelings, and it prevents growth in us as humans when we conform to this digital world where we can't move up in our, okay, I'm going to be really crazy. We can't move up in our energy field with our relationships outside of ourselves if we are relying on just putting these little smiley faces and all these little things. And so everybody, I do it too. I gift and do all the things, and I'm all about it. But it really removes our interaction, and then we get mad when we're interacting with our children or something. I don't have children, but when parents are interacting with the children, they're like, well, you sent me like your day at school was fine. You texted me that, but you didn't put a smiley face. So obviously you had a bad day. And like the entire communication level of things with all of human interaction is so screwed up when it comes to emojis and our memes and our gifts and all of that. And I don't know, I'm like anti it, but I'm a victim. I do it too. So I can't say, but I'm anti all the things. We're removing all of the actual communication between humans.
Oh
Yeah, but also that we choose to speak to each other in a totally deferred format. I'm going to text you. And I mean, that even happens at work all the time. Like, I want to send somebody something, so I'll just like text it to them instead of like turning around and being like, hey, like we don't talk anymore.
Yeah, when my boss wants to like give me 42 things to do, he'll like get in a rich car and leave and run away, and then he'll say in a little chat message, hey, hope you can handle that, smiley face, cool, we're cool. No, bitch, I cannot handle that, sorry. Forgive my French, but no, but you think it's cool, okay. But yeah, no, we're so disconnected from each other, and the more that is implemented in our lives, the more that the man, we're going to call it the man, the government, the man of our country, can take control of us, because all of our little humans that are supposed to be in charge of our future are now just like under the man. They're digitalized. They can't think for themselves. They can't have feelings or emotions because it's all through emojis and memes. And oh, did you see this video? Our best friend's son sent me a video. Molly, you know him, Hudson, sent me this video that said, it was a YouTube short that said the average lifespan of the U.S. citizen is 80-something years old or whatever. So when you're 38 years old, you're now middle-aged. And he sent that to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm a middle-aged woman now, thanks. But like, that's his communication level, is through these YouTube shorts. And I'm like, what? Why are you even on YouTube? You're 14 years old. I don't understand what you're doing. Like, just screw me all up.
Right. Our attention span is just freaking gone.
Yeah.
These kids don't read anymore. It's just swipe. Like, Their head's just gone.
Don't read anymore either.
Hmm?
Let me tell you, I just went to this stinking book club and I felt so uneducated. Like, I went back to the fetal position. I was so uneducated. We went, I sat there in silence, and my friend Lauren, she's like, she kept saying, I think that was a stylistic choice of the author, because she didn't know what to say either, because we were both so uncomfortable being in a stupid book club. And these people are spitting out all these words like they read books and things and they know things. And I'm like, I just swipe on TikTok and I'm so brain dead. I feel so stupid. So now this next book club, I'm going to actually read the full book and try to educate myself and take notes and do all things. But I'm like, we are so stupid as like a whole that we can't even sit at a table and talk about a book because our brains are like swipe.
Oh yeah, cool.
I used to read a ton of books. Oh, sorry, Randy, go ahead.
No. I was actually saying Danielle had something to say. And
oh,
I think we kind of skipped
I had like 20 things to say, but I forgot most of them. I was going to talk about emojis and stuff. I'll go back to the emojis. I was going to talk about books. I used to read a ton of books, and I used to read a lot more in college. I was just talking to my friend the other day about our college days and like all the books we read and reports we wrote. And we're like, where's that person today? I'm not writing reports and reading books. I feel so much less educated or less intelligent than I was 20 years ago. But I'm a real big fan of Audible now. I didn't used to be because I was a paper book person. And a friend mentioned, I listen to Audible while I'm doing chores, this, that. And I was like, all right. Now I listen to a book a week. And all on Audible while I'm doing chores, washing dishes, folding clothes, throwing my kids outside to play. All these things that I'm doing. And I feel so much smarter. And I'm reading all these nonfiction books. I just finished one on the Neuroscience of You by Chantel Pratt. And it's all about how the brain works and how we learn in different ways. And I can go on a whole tangent about learning and different ways we teach kids things growing up. But that's helped me feel a lot smarter. And going back to talking in a group is just the use of words. I feel like we don't use flowery words anymore. Stalwart and stupification. Perpendicular. It's like, why don't we use these words now? It's like, is it because we don't know them because we're not reading or listening?
But why when we have sus and riz?
I know. Skibbity toilet.
Well, to Kimmy's point, texting is the lowest form of communication.
It is.
And then texting was like, hold my beer, and now we have emojis. It's almost like we're using, hieroglyphs? Like we're just writing stick figures, and AI is writing poetry and dissertations. So they're going higher and we're going lower.
Yeah, but if you look at art back then, there would be some like single slab of marble perfectly carved into this like sinewy warrior horse. Like, you could basically see every hair on it. And now like you tape a banana to a white wall and it's fucking art. Like, what happened? Like, modern art is for slobbering losers.
I have a statement
Okay.
after Kimmi goes, she has her hand up, but I have a statement about the modern art thing. I'll go first. Mine is super short. I was going to throw this garbage bag away because I was doing a protection detail for modern art. And they were like, don't throw that away. It's a $2 million art piece. And I'm like, it's a garbage bag taped to the wall. And then the janitor comes out and he goes, am I supposed to throw it away? I'm like, no, we're both going to get in trouble if we do that.
My God. So when I used to work LAPD West LA, I would have to take surface streets to get there because it's a 2.5-hour commute, 12 miles. Your tax dollars at work. And so I would drive through Beverly Hills and they put up this fucking chrome dog shit on the lawn in Beverly Hills. It was this modern art sculpture. It was like this chrome turd. And it really was just unsightly. And they paid millions of dollars for it. It might still be there. I don't know. I used to flip it off every day and just go, fuck you. Like, this is art. It's totally terrible. And like it really just looked like every citizen of Beverly Hills turned in all their aluminum cans because they didn't want the transients to dig through their trash cans, and like they melted it into one like giant fuck you. That's what I think it is. But anyway, the guy who made it had this whole website for it talking about how it represents the reflection in us all. Fuck you. You made this metal turd and you laughed when you cashed that fucking check that they bought that shit and bought your little dumb story. Like, just stop.
Kimmi, you had something to say? You had your hand
Yeah,
up.
so regarding AI, so I just want to say that at my previous employment, which was for a surveyor's drone equipment dealer, we're going to just say that, they told me I was an aggressive woman, that my communication with other employees was aggressive, and they claimed that my emails were, people took them as super mean and all these things. So when I got this feedback, I said, okay, well, I'm not saying anything wrong. And usually my phone was broken. So anytime I talked to a previous employee, I would have him on speakerphone. So my other employee, it was only me and one other guy in the office, he would hear everything I was saying. So I was like, you're a witness. Like, I'm not being an asshole to everybody. But I said, okay, so I'm aggressive in my emails. Cool. So I went in and downloaded this program to rewrite everything I was going to say to everybody. So I did that for like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And then my newly promoted branch manager, who was just whatever he was, it was just a title. He's like, I just want to commend you because your emails are so lovely written and all that. I'm like, cool, because AI is doing it for me. Thanks. And he's like, what? And I'm like, well, you're all a bunch of assholes. So I typed everything into an AI simulator and it spit out all this bougie crap that was like, I'm not going to hurt your feelings, but blah, blah, blah. And because we're so like people that are in the workforce can't just handle you fucked up. And you did your shit wrong. And so I'm telling you did it wrong, but they can't handle that. So I had to like be like, oh my God, thank you so much for submitting that order. But I think that maybe the pricing was a little bit wrong and we're just going to correct that. Like they need all this extra stuff because we're raising a bunch of, forgive me, bitches. We're raising a bunch of bitches. That's all there is to it. Nobody knows how to actually work. And we need AI to like make us gentle to our emotional feelings because we're going to have PTSD if someone says blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Becky Lou says, I'm direct at work so people think I'm intimidating where I'm just trying to fucking communicate. They're big fucking babies. Yeah. So one thing I learned from Randy, do you want to explain the patent pending Randy Agard sweet shit sandwich?
So the sweet shit sandwich is... Danielle, I think your cat is beautiful. I think it's an awesome, amazing cat, but I'm allergic to cats. So if we're going to date, you're going to have to get rid of that cat. So you start off with something really nice, a compliment, and then you tell the person whatever the horrible thing is you want to tell them.
Yeah, that's the compliment.
And then another nice thing.
Oh, and then another nice thing.
Compliment.
Yeah, nice, Kimmi. Nice. Well done.
Yeah.
Your cat, I can't believe how much your cat just loves to lay with you. It's so cute. Personally, I don't like assholes that close to my lips, but how good for you that your cat is so loving.
Yes. However, if we put the booty bling on the cat, you know, those stupid butt diamonds they have for cats, it would be so much more lovely to have next to your face.
Do not encourage her.
I like your cat, Danielle. I like your cat.
If someone would like to donate one to me, yeah, I'm happy to. I'll bling my cat's asshole out for everybody.
This went so
your cat's asshole for damn sure. I will do that.
The Keystone Channel's rise. This thing else says no way. Always the cat number one. That's right. Animals come first.
What if somebody clicks in right now and they heard Danielle say, "I'm gonna bling my cat's butthole out"?
Bling that cat's booty.
What am I watching?
Subscribe.
Yeah, we might get some. I need to get sunglasses. I didn't know there was a glasses thing today.
Well, I don't know. I just have 3D glasses at work. It's when I'm being a total dick, I put them on.
Yes. Molly, I wanted to say something to your art thing that you said.
Yeah.
That's actually intentional. It's a Marxist philosophy of ugly art. It's kind of a disconnect thing. I kind of think it's connected to the whole destroying comedy and we can't have good movies anymore and everyone's offended and all this other goofy stuff. I think it's all interconnected. I mean, I don't know what
even
you
our buildings, like everything about it is so fucking ugly. And we used to have just like chair molding and like beautiful ornate stuff everywhere. And now it's all just like brass and glass and whatever.
Or even the way we talked about this in a previous podcast is the way we present ourselves out in the world. I'm a bit of a fancy lady, so I always, I got my hair and makeup done. I'm dressed up when I go out. So, I teach my kids to do the same, look as best as possible when you're going to school or going out. And I go pick them up from school and all these kids are in their pajamas and messy buns. And I'm like, why are all these kids in their pajamas? Is it pajama day? And they're like, no, this is how they dress. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah, it's not even really just intelligence. Like we've devolved in so many other ways where we don't put our shit together. In fact, I think it was Randy that I was talking to the other night where we were talking about like when you go on a date, like back in my day, you would never tell them like, oh yeah, I had a scare with syphilis. And also like, I'm struggling to get, my kids on weekends because, my felony. And then, but also like, I had this one like weird, like pustule on my toe and stuff. So I might be walking a little bit slow and like, ooh, I can't eat that. I'll have diarrhea for days. Like we didn't used to tell everybody everything. Didn't you wait, Danielle, you just went out with some guy who was, who gave you some very private information. It made me blush.
Yeah.
On the first date.
Down,
and he was like, oh, let me talk to you about my cat's asshole. And you were like, oh.
Yeah, his first date, and he was telling me about his hemorrhoids. And I was like, okay.
Oh, too much.
All right. So do you like stuff? Or...
Right. Cancel the guacamole. Thank you. When did that become okay? And now, like, I meet a lot of younger people because I am the inventor of a lie detection game that uses all original trilogy Star Wars characters called the Sarlacc, and I meander around and go do all the Comic-Cons. Yeah, I totally am.
What?
Yeah, I totally am. And so I meet a lot of young kids at all these Comic-Cons and stuff that I go host this game at. And they're always like with the fucking like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm ADHD, oppositional defiant, neurodivergent, like blah, 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 blah. Like they got a whole thing of like how fucked up they are. Oh my God, that's really interesting because I'm also ADHD, oppositional defiant, neurodivergent, but I'm also a twin spirit flame, whatever. Like, back in our day, it was just like, what kind of music do you listen to? Cool. And that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, Danielle, I don't own a business, but I contract for someone and they allowed me to bring people on, right? So I tell this kid, I'm like, dude, you can sleep in the car for the first 2 hours or play on your phone. Then for like half an hour, just be seen. You're not doing anything. You're just being seen.
Right.
And then from 8:30 to 10, you're just going to stand next to me and I'm going to tell everybody what to do. You're not going to have to do anything. And then from 11 to lunch, go back in the car and go to sleep or go play on your phone. This dude didn't show up. He's like, no, I can't do all of that. And I told Molly, if you paid this generation to lay down, they would stand up. Like, easiest job in the world. And they're like, no, I'm not doing it.
So I think I said I moved earlier today and it's been a process. But today I just decided I'm going to fucking do it myself. So I got my U-Haul and I was like, and so I loaded the truck by 12 and I was like, this is pretty good. I got shit to do. And so I'm just going to go drop off this because it's sort of a Tetris thing once it gets into the new place. I don't have a ballroom that I could stage all of this in. So it all needs to like go into a drawer or get hung on before the next load of shit can come. But then I showed up at my new place and my neighbor comes out. I'll save the rest of that story. But anyway, he was like, do you want some help? And I was like, yes. And he's a young guy. And that guy worked so hard. It was great. I was like, what are you doing Monday? So he's going to help me on Monday as well with the very last of it. And then the bunnies will be in there. And then maybe I could steal like a neighbor's Wi-Fi so I don't have to come to fucking work to do this stuff. Things are looking up.
Yeah, motivators are a big thing.
Yeah, but like, not everybody has that work ethic anymore.
They don't.
I was really surprised at like how he just like dove. I mean, I paid him $50 for like an hour's work, but still, he was a very hard worker.
Yeah, there's definitely, generational thing in terms of work ethic. And I definitely am biased. My grandfather on my mom's side was from Oaxaca, Mexico, and he came from nothing. And he came over here and became a mechanical engineer, worked for aerospace. He worked construction. He built his own house. He became a minister and built his own church in the city of Harbor City in California, and did all of this stuff. And he instilled all of that in his kids. And my mom and her brothers were all very hard workers, and that's what they instilled in us. And I just don't see that anymore where people have and like get up and go and like, I want to make my life better. I want to learn and make something of myself and then create something in my community that helps others. Like, it's just so rare.
Sense of community. Well,
and I think that's part of that TikTok brain. Like we are now just like totally passive observers. And like if you're walking towards a door holding a bunch of shit, like nobody goes and like, oh, let me get that for you. Like we lost that sense of like interconnectivity and awareness of like, oh, this person needs whatever. Like you see the person with the tire off on the side of the road, like I almost hit that guy. And it's like, wait, help him out.
Well, it's about individual goodness. So I think I covered this before. I'm good. Danielle's good. So we're going to have good kids. So that's a family. Molly's good. Her husband's good. So now we have a community. A bunch of those communities make a society. A bunch of those societies make good people. We lost all of that and got rid of all of it. So, and I'm not beating up on this generation. Like if you're 20 to 30, I kind of blame us. Like I think the latchkey kid generation, we had to raise ourselves. And
yes,
I think we misraised, and I'm not talking about you, Danielle. I think you're a good mom. Huh?
I was a latchkey kid. I actually lost the key so many times that my parents got mad and made me go in the house through the doggy door in the back of the house. So I was a doggy door kid.
You're a doggy door kid.
I said I wasn't talking about you, Danielle. You're like, no, that's me.
That's me. Yeah.
And here's the sad part of it, Randy. They had one of those doors that has the RFID chip, so Danielle had to wear a dog collar to school so that she could get through the door when she got home. Sad. But yeah, so Kimmi will be back, and then we'll talk a little bit about fluoride and toxins and stuff. But they have said that. Oh, okay. She's sucking her adult pacifier.
Hey, since I'm only going to be learning for the next however long Kimmi talks, because I know nothing about this, I just wanted to add some of the stupidity is also ideology. It's people are ideologically captured, so they care more about. I don't mind this stupid thing because it's my political party doing it, or I don't care about this dumb thing because it's my gender or sexuality or skin color. So. I'm going to ignore common sense and I'm going to side with whatever goofiness.
Yeah, I would say that hypocrisy really goes along with that. And you and I talk about hypocrisy like a lot, like Black Lives Matter. except for babies, let's support those. And like, oh, the black kid was shot by a black cop. Yeah, who cares? And it's like, okay, that life doesn't matter. It's a lot of hypocrisy, whatever. And there's just so many instances of hypocrisy politically right now that's just crazy. Like, oh, you know, we need to protect like trans women. Like, how about protect women from like getting raped though? Like not those women, just like, because I used to work at some pretty suspicious clubs in the city of Los Angeles, working the code check and the door and stuff. And there were dudes that would dress like women and they would just go like whack off in the bathroom because it wasn't that their gender identity, it was just a perversion. They just wanted to like see themselves in a dress and make us see them jerking off. We would go in the women's room.
I wanted to say something to that. I actually worked security at We Spa. Are you guys, any of you guys familiar with that story? It's where
in
Koreatown, an individual was pretending to be trans. It was a trans person. It was a person that was pretending. And he takes off his clothes and he shows his meat and potatoes to a 6-year-old. And the spa sided with this individual who had been arrested earlier for mental illness and all kinds of other stuff. And a bunch of people came and they protested, not for the 6-year-old little girl who's been violated, but for the individual who was liquor forward. And they fought the police and did all kind of other stuff. So
wait, and that dude ended up going to that park in West Hollywood and flashing a little girl in the bathroom at that park and was arrested for that. And I have to see your name. Omnifis Productions. Am I saying that right? Autogynephilia. We really need to delineate what is, because I hung out with so many fucking drag queens. I swear I was like the only girl for a long time in my friend group. And then we would hit on guys together and the guy would think that I was the only guy and that these 6'7" Amazons clearly were women. But anyway, drunk guys, what could you say? But so it's not like I'm some kind of like nun. I mean, I was hanging out at clubs called House of Flash, Perversion, like fucking like whatever. I mean, I can't even think of all of them, but sex clubs, goth clubs, whatever. So I really don't give a shit. I've used the same bathroom with all my drag queen friends. We've been in this, we would all go in the handicap stall together and take turns peeing. Like, it's not a big deal. But the way I equate it, though, is that if I'm going into a bathroom and there's a lesbian in the stall next to me, I don't give a shit because she's not trying to talk to me or fucking flash any kind of sign under the door. Like, you do your thing, I do my thing. Don't really care. But there is a section of people that use this new wave as some kind of an excuse to be able to have access to us. Mm-hmm. And you see it in the prison system where, I mean, Randy already said, if we go to prison together, he's just going to like say that he's a girl so that we can be cellies.
I said that years before all of this. So you kill satire because reality is dumber than, because I think I told Molly, we were working like Hollywood years ago, more than 10 years ago. And I want to say she asked, oh, what did you want to be when you grew up? I said, I want to go to women's prison as a man. Now it's real. It's a reality. And
sadly,
these women are getting hurt.
Yeah, they're impregnating.
Say again?
They're impregnating women in prison. And like, I don't care. Like, I mean, you know, you and I both have a lot of empathy for everybody in the world. So it's not like we go, oh, we're dropping you off of prison and I hope you rot. Like, even in prison, you still are granted rights. And I don't care what that woman did. You can't lock her in a cage with a fucking dude. That's crazy to me. That really is an absolute violation of your constitutional right. That truly is.
Here's what's simple. I'll destroy the whole argument easily. We don't even have to get political. Don't put rapey penises in women's prisons. I don't care what you're
put them together. Put them together. That's fine. You have a separate wing. but it's truly cruel and unusual punishment to lock a rapist in a cage with a potential victim.
And I'm not arguing against trans, however you identify or all of that stuff, but even the rapist's wife said he's faking it. He's pretending to be a man a woman.
Yeah, but that story is as old as time. I mean, you remember, like, when we were cops, the big thing is to say that you're kosher, because then you're getting these like beautiful pieces of meat for dinner instead of like the same fucking frozen burrito 3 times a day. And the whole kosher thing is like, now all of a sudden you've like totally elevated your food in the prison system to this like first class, and it was like $17 a portion instead of 83 cents. Because the regular rest of the prison is like, how many scoops of brown do you want? And then you go and here's your totally beautiful Kobe beef, sir. Like, cool, thanks. But then they would say that they were kosher, but then they're still like making pruno in the toilet and eating their fucking hot Cheetos and all this bullshit. And it's like, I feel like if you're saying that you're kosher, then you're not allowed to just like also have fucking pork ramen in your cell. Then I feel like that's when the charade should end.
I swear this is my last comment, and Danielle and Kimmi, you guys can start talking. I understand BLM, I understand trans, I understand all of this. What happens is you use it as an identity shield. So Molly's coming to kill me, and Danielle's like, she shouldn't do that. Oh, you hate women, Danielle? You don't like blonde, blue-eyed women? Is that what's going on? No, it's the action. She shouldn't be going to kill her friend Randy. And they protect the lie with the truth. So that's my 2 cents. Any comments from you two?
I was just going to jump in with Becky Lou in the chat, who says Alex Jones was right about the frogs. The atrazine fucks up the kids too. Microplastics. I don't know how to spell atrazine, though. You were fine. And so, Kimmi, let's talk about like fluoride and all these endocrine disrupting chemicals and all this stuff, because that's also part of being stupid.
Yeah. So, back probably 10 years ago, I'm going to say, before it even became like super severe, it was behind the scenes of all the things. Back when I worked with emotionally disturbed children, and they were in our system, and they had 42 diagnoses because nobody knows how to handle anything. We had that dietitian recommended things. And they weren't allowed processed foods. Like, one of the big things was chicken nuggets. I'm just going to throw it out there. Chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets from McDonald's, chicken nuggets from the store, whatever it was. It was a processed chicken byproduct that when these kids consumed it is when they were being the most out of control and the most restrained that we had in our log of problems. So they could consume 3 chicken nuggets, and in that afternoon, they're flipping out, they're violent, they're holding the classroom hostage, all the things. And it was just something as stupid as like these ingredients that the kids are consuming. And now, because we've created this world of ease, we're going to call it the world of ease, everything is easier. So we throw things in the microwave, we go to fast food drive-thrus. The kids in the public school systems, their food selections are just astronomically insane. Like, every product you could imagine that you wouldn't even rub on your skin because it is so bad is what these kids are eating. And then we get pissed off because they come home and they don't want to do homework, and they can't focus, and they're on this computer screen that they have a 4-second window of attention because they're so used to the swipe world that we're getting mad that their grades are lower, and then, but this is society, and it's a whole thing. The moral of the story is the more products you consume, the more additives you consume. And they just recently, like a day ago, released that red number 3 is banned in the United States. They have until 2027. eliminated from all products. That's cool. It looks great. Like, oh my God, the FDA is getting on board, except red number 3 isn't the problem. So they're
it's
making
all of them,
our
yeah.
society feel like we are accomplishing things, but we're really not, because they're just drawing the focus to, oh, red number 3 is eliminated because we care about you. No, that isn't even the problem.
Well, don't you think
Red
that's
number
just because Biden wanted to like do his little like, I'm the one who started this? Well, you know,
Correct.
sometimes saying it, but
That's exactly it. He's going to go out with a bang, and we're going to all feel like we're protected and we're cared about. But no, we're not, because red 40 is really the problem that's causing cancer through all sexes' bodies. Red number 3 was only seen in rats that were male in certain laboratories and blah, blah, blah. And it's like the intense color, and
yeah.
so our ice pops and all these things were red number 3. Red number 40, though, is in almost like, I don't know what the percentage is. I'm going to say 70% of things we're consuming on an everyday basis. And it's the leading cause of our entire breakdown of our ecosystem in our body. I'm going to call it that.
Right. And by saying that you're going to stop it in 2027, if you know that it's carcinogenic or an endocrine disruptor or fucking toxic or lowers IQ or leads to ADHD, and you're going to like, well, we're really going to put an end to it in fucking a few years. Like, okay, I'm going to stop beating my wife, but it's going to start in 2027. Like, fucking how about now? And that's how you know that it's just a fucking sham, because what they're doing is they are saying that Fruity Pebbles is more important than Danielle's kids, because Danielle's kids can still eat it for the next 2 years, because it's going to take a while for Fruity Pebbles to figure out how to make those Fruity Pebbles without red 3. And we need to be, you know, really sensitive to Fruity Pebbles and let the kids eat it for 2 more years.
If I wanted to be an insane conspiracy theorist of what our government is doing for our health, I would say that they are distracting us from, they're giving the big giant companies a chance to like conform and make things right. Okay, cool. But they're distracting us from, okay, so it's 2 years they have. That's 2 years of a long time that a certain someone is now president, and certain things are going to be implemented. And by that time, nobody's going to give a shit about our health, because shit, we're going to be barricading our doors. Like, shit's going to be real by then. So they're just trying to make it look like good now. And then, I love your cup, by the way. That's an amazing cup.
Oh, thanks. My friend Kimmi got it for me.
And they're just trying to transform. They want us to think that they care about us for a small second.
Yeah, but they just fucking don't. I mean, that's nothing. It's a piss in the wind.
They gave a shit. The fluoride that's in our public water system that's causing male infertility, female infertility, growth problems in our children, and our I mean, the brains aren't even forming correctly because of the amount of chemicals that are in our tap water. Like, I will never, ever drink tap water from anywhere. I don't even care. We went on a hunt, by the way. There's a very cool website called, hold on. It's like naturalspring.org or something. And you can find all the natural springs in the area. And we went searching for the closest one to us. We ended up in like someone's personal farm, because it said this natural spring was like in the center of their farm. We drove down their driveway and we were like, we're going to get shot. Some Amish guys are going to come out here and kill us. Like, I don't know what's happening. But I was destined to go find natural spring water and bucket it. We brought all these containers. It didn't work at all. There was no natural spring without getting killed that I could find. But you guys should really focus on natural springs, because the stuff that's in this water, it affects marriages, it affects families, because my husband drinks tap water like crazy, and he is an angry soul. And so I'm going to count it for that. But things are not right what's coming out of these systems, not to mention, like, I found out that because in my I don't want to pay nobody any more than I have to. So when I was like questioning our water bill, they were like, well, you have to pay for the water that you consume, and then you automatically get charged for the water that you pee out, because if you consume it, you're peeing it out. And I'm like, okay, what if I'm doing all my peeing at work? Like, why are you charging me for that? And they're like, well, you have rainwater discharge, which I found out goes into the same exact system. So we have all this acidic, crazy polluted, because I won't even get into it, but the government is totally formulating things in our environment to make weather happen. And then you have that going into the ground, and then it's going into our system and coming out our spigots that we're drinking from. So you have so many chemicals and roof water, like all the shingles. If that roof was 30 years or older, you have things you do not want to be consuming up in those shingles, like coming off those gutters, going into the drain systems, and it goes into some filtration for your town or city, but really,
they can't really filter it all.
And fluoride.
Right.
No.
Yeah, fluoride. And so fluoride is in 60% of municipal water in America.
Yeah.
We definitely have it here in the Lansing area. Brandy, do you know, you're on the outskirts of LA, do you know if your water is fluoridated?
Most likely, Riverside County. I know they recommend not drinking tap water. Yeah,
it's I watched this whole thing on it, and I'm too stupid to really remember all of it, but but I was learning about hydroxyapatite, which is this mineral, whatever it is, in your teeth. And the fluoride actually goes in there and replaces the hydroxyapatite. And the fluoride is much more of a brittle substance than the hydroxyapatite. And so it can actually lead to having tooth problems, fluorosis being one of them. You can actually have too much fluoride. But for me, I think it's like, it just doesn't pass the fucking common sense sniff test, because if fluoride is so good for you, how come you can't go to the supplement store and say, yeah, I need my USRDA of fluoride, and like, oh, here you go. Would you like tablets or caplets? Like, you can't buy it. So why is it in the tap water? Like, I get putting it in the toothpaste if that's all it's for, is for your teeth. But why are we washing our balls with it? Why are we washing our cars with it? If babies aren't allowed to have it until they're like 8 years old, what do you think that most parents make baby formula with? Fucking tap water. So, and how much are they getting? One of my coworkers drinks about an ocean of water per day. So clearly she is getting a shit ton more fluoride than me, who gets my liquid from bean burritos. So it's like, how do you even determine like what your dosage is? It's absolutely garbage. Anyway, when I go to the dentist, because I collect toothpaste, guys, and so I've got a lot of, I collect everything. Listen, I just had to move it today. I'm fucking sore and I hate life. But I collect all these toothpastes from all over the world because they don't have any fluoride. Like here we call that kids toothpaste, but actually the rest of the world just doesn't put fluoride in fucking everything. And there's really good flavors too, like the basil, really nice. Cilantro, good. Lemon? Not so much. The lemon tastes like a urinal cake. Don't do it. But so I go to my dentist, and she goes to like do my cleaning, and she's like, your teeth are just so great. Like, you know, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I brush. I don't know. And like, oh, you're just like, oh, you don't have the teeth of a 50-year-old. Like, okay, cool. Like, and then the dentist will come in. Yeah, you're looking good. No cavities, everything. Here you go. Here's your little toothpaste sample. Oh, no, you can keep that. I don't use fluoride. You don't use fluoride? Your teeth are just going to rot out of here. You just spent 45 minutes fucking jerking off to my goddamn teeth. I feel like I'm doing all right here. But they just freak out. Did you want a fluoride treatment right now? No, I don't. Because this is decades of like not using fluoride. Somehow it works. And you think about it like Neanderthal skulls and stuff, like they're not Swiss cheese teeth, but they still have their they didn't have fluoride in the fucking water, and they weren't using their Crest Pro whitening whatever garbage.
Yeah.
And like in countries that don't fluoridate, I mean, you see people in like third world countries that have these like perfect teeth.
Yes.
And so they don't fluoridate, and they're not, they're not busting out the like super fancy mechanical toothbrushes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just garbage.
But
I think RFK Jr. is going to cut fluoride, right?
Yeah.
So, it's super controversial subject, but I'm going to go in hard right now. Okay, so we as Americans need to consume this toothpaste that we have, right? Because all of our food that we consume has so many dyes in it and so many contaminating things in our mouth. Obviously, your oral health plays a huge part in your overall health. So if you have a bad mouth, you have a bad everything. Like your digestive tract is bad, your circulation is bad, all the things. You can die from an infection in your mouth because it hit your heart like super fast. So my concern is that we consume all these things and then we have stains on our teeth and then we want to do all the things and we want to use fluoride and we want to go to the dentist and get our cavities filled. But you can live like a cavity-free, super healthy mouth life if you did oil pulling, which sucks. I'm not going to lie. That shit sucks. You put this oil in your mouth and it hits your gag reflex and you want to vomit everywhere because you're like, blah, 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 pushing around. And no, I can't. I mean, I've tried it. I've done it 1,000 times. I can't do it though, because like I want to throw up everywhere. But then you have other alternatives to this different toothpaste. Now, Molly, you said that you had all sorts of toothpaste collections. Now, I can guarantee you that every single one of those toothpastes have had some sort of human altered chemical in it, no matter what, because no matter if it says it's organic, it's not. But one of the things that I got into and I like passed out to my friends and they were like, you're an asshole. Why are you handing me a stick? Is a sea-wax stick. It's literally a root stick that it takes a little bit of preparation. You have to put it like the end in boiling water. You have to trim the bark away and you have to chomp on it to turn it into bristles. But if you do all the things, you can literally clean your teeth with this sea-wax stick and then you do it for like 2 or 3 weeks and then you cut the end off and redo it. And you're not using synthetic bristles. You don't need toothpaste. You do a little bit of oil pulling maybe twice a week, and you will never have a cavity. You'll have the whitest teeth ever, and you have no chemicals that man created to put inside of your mouth is your main portal to your entire body. It's a portal to your intestines, your stomach, your heart, your lungs, everything goes through your mouth. So it's priority to do it in the most natural, holistic way. And then we're swayed because our society has created all of these organic, natural, holistic ways to do all the things, but they're really not. They're just the FDA in the United States is where the only idiots that have to do
yeah.
FDA.
I mean, the FDA, forget it. Like Skittles soda is FDA approved, but not raw milk.
Yeah.
So I've tried the tooth powders. I don't know that you're going to get me to chew a stick. I mean,
the real thing is awesome. You got to try it. I'm going to give you one.
All right.
I want to try it.
I mean,
I want to try it.
I'm not going to lie. It smells like complete ass. Like you open out of the package and you're like, oh, my damn. But I swear to you, I gave one to my neighbor and she was like, okay, Kim, because she just entertains me because she loves me. But she was like, oh, I'm going to scrub my teeth. And she was like, wait, it actually made my teeth feel clean because it really works. And this is what like the third world population's using, that they can't access synthetic plastic toothbrushes and stuff. They're using roots off the ground and doing these things, and they get on there's things and they have shining white teeth. And you're like, how does somebody who doesn't have a job and makes $3 a year have amazing teeth? Well, that's why, because they live off of the earth and not off of the world that we live in.
I mean, I try. I do what I can. I can't say that I'm going to grow out my armpit hair and chew a stick anytime soon, but I mean, I literally had to
Don't grow the armpit hair.
What?
Chew a stick, just don't grow the armpit hair. I'm not down for it.
I mean, I literally had Taco Bell for breakfast, so I don't know. that you're gonna convert me completely.
Well, I mean,
I was
your
just thinking-
digestive system's going through cardboard analysis right now, so it's good.
Oh my God.
Kara says, it smells like ass. Sounds great.
I was thinking Molly says I have assholes under my face all the time, so I probably wouldn't mind the way the sticks smell. So
Maybe if you chew your cat's asshole, you'll have like beautiful teeth.
Gosh.
Yeah, but with fluoride, things have shown. Oh, and Kimmy's gone. She's like, cat's asshole. I'm out of here. With fluoride, they have shown that it does lead to a lowered IQ. But this is also lead exposure and all those endocrine disruptors, and you've got all the plastics and pesticides and flame retardants and surfactants and nitrates and all this stuff. And it's just garbage. And I'm not a hippie, but I think we could all get a little bit more on track. And so I really hope that RFK is the honey badger that we think that we're getting, and he's going to clean up the town a little bit.
I hope so.
Can I say something?
I'm
I've
gonna
been
go
visiting.
after Eddie.
Oh, sorry, Danielle. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'll visit another country and I cannot eat, and someone told me it's because it's real food.
Oh yeah, there's so many. Even my girlfriend Emma moved from Hollyweird to London, and now she can eat all kinds of like cheese and breads and everything. She's happy as a clam and no problems.
Sticks have entered the chat.
That's the biggest Cheeto I've ever seen.
It looks like a
it's
pretzel.
root. Hold on, I'm going to show you.
That looks disgusting.
It is, but I mean, it doesn't smell horrible.
Looks like a bleached Slim Jim.
It's a turkey Slim Jim.
It's a turkey Slim
The
Jim.
turkey Slim Jim.
Ew.
Okay,
Ugh.
so it's a sea wax stick, and then forgive my chewing, but you're supposed to boil it. But look, the end, once you crunch it, it turns into literally bristles.
Wow.
And then you just go like this.
How do you
and
get the
brush your
back?
teeth with it. And then so you have the whole stick. So you use this for like 2 weeks, and then you cut that chunk off, and then you peel the bark and do another little section.
Where'd you get it
sell
from?
these.
Oh, you sell them?
How do you get that in the back though? It's all good that
yeah,
you want to keep your teeth from here to here, but like
Time and practice, Molly.
It goes right after you want me to show you.
yeah.
It does go back here.
Next week, Danielle will be showing us her favorite coffee enemas.
Show you dental here. But it's a real thing, and I sell them, and
Best.
they're amazing, and they last forever. Because I mean, you're only doing this much, so you get like at least 6 months worth out of one stick, and you don't ever have to brush your teeth again. And it really makes you feel clean after. Like you're just—it's a real thing.
I got one that's similar in my desk here. Let me just try it out real quick.
Molly, don't mess with me. If you pull out a pencil, a number 2 pencil right now.
This one's minty too. Do you have a link where you could send people for these asshole cat ass sticks?
Number 40. You're eating red dye number 40. Not good.
I had nachos Belgrande for breakfast.
Mm.
Not good.
Do you have a link, Kimmi, where you are selling these, or is this just you have to meet you in the right dark alley?
So I don't currently have my website back up, but it's going to happen probably in a month. But if you're in the local Lansing area, you can go to the Mega Mall because they're in the Mega Mall.
True,
But I don't
true.
know if
And
you
then,
understand.
hey, will you get back to me with your link when you get it up and
I will.
running? And then, because this will archive, and if somebody goes and watches it later, then they can see it. Guys, I have a 12 signs of intelligence quiz. Do we all want to know how smart we are?
Oh, yeah.
First of all, I think it was Becky Lou. I don't know. I'm not even going to scroll. It was Kara or Becky Lou said that she won the spelling bee and that she's really good at 3 to 5 letter words. Because that speaking of stupification, I have a little like trauma that I have as a child, and it involves a girl named Maria Lopez. Maria, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. I had Miss Borofsky, so it was either first, it must have been first grade. And not that you give a shit. Anyway, Maria had missed her spelling exam. So Miss Borofsky sent me out into the hallway with Maria to go quiz Maria and see if she's going to pass the spelling test. And I had zero integrity. And it haunts me to this day.
Not you.
And I know, it really was bad, though. So I asked her elephant, and she didn't know. And I helped her through every fucking part of that word so that she would get it right, so that she would get a good grade on her test. And I just feel like there's maybe a Maria Lopez out there that still doesn't know how to spell elephant, and it's my fucking fault.
Oh, sorry.
Good job, Molly.
That was funny. I went to 6th grade spelling bee.
You have no idea how often I think about that. Every time I see the word elephant, I'm like, God damn it.
You think of Maria Lopez?
I do.
Oh.
Sorry, Maria.
I wanted to say real quick before you get into your quiz. This will be for another episode. I just thought of another episode idea because I have a whole speech prepared over here. I did a whole speech at work on chemicals and beauty products.
Oh.
And it's something that is really like near and dear to my heart because my mom got breast cancer at 41, died at 45. And I strongly believe it had to do with the chemicals and the products she was using. So as soon as you started talking about fluoride, I like found my old speech and pulled it up. I was like, I'm going to talk about this, but running out of time. So next episode, I would love to talk more about this topic.
Yeah, let's do it. I think
there.
next week I have my friend Rich on. He's like a military guru, and we're going to talk about invasion and apocalypse and military shit and what's going to happen when we're under attack in our own homes here. It's going to be pretty fun. Rich is a pretty cool guy. I'm not sure if I'm going to call it
I need to be there. I have a lot of things in that.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're a total prepper. Next Friday.
I used to be a Marine.
Oh, all right. If you want on, let's do it. And then Randy and I are going to come back on the 7th to maybe finish his LAPD story. I don't know. We get sidetracked. And then Kate, my baby sister, and Danielle will be back on the 31st we're talking about hypnotherapy and like unlocking magical shit in your brain. We got a lot of stuff coming up. Okay, let's get on to this 12 signs of intelligence test. So get a pen, write it on your cat's asshole. Here we go. Number one.
I do this too?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You don't have to see if you're smart. It doesn't matter to me.
Got it.
So I got this off the interwebs. This isn't my particular one because it would just be 12 signs of intelligence. Do you go to Taco Bell on a day that you have a lot to do? Yes. Well, there you have it. Okay, number one. People who ask questions, that they're lifelong learners, that they're always constantly engaging their mind and looking, around for new things to learn and not being afraid to admit that you don't know something, ask the questions. Number two, open-mindedness. So they're not like a rigid point of view. They can learn something against their own point of view that they had before. I would guess like Trump derangement syndrome might go into that. Oh, Danielle, tell them about the guy that you met on the dating app.
Oh, about with the Trump comment?
Yeah.
I was just asking them about what they did for a living and if they worked hybrid or how many days in the office they worked, etc. And they said, oh, they only have to go into the office a few days a week. And I was like, oh, or a few hours a week. And I thought, oh, that's really cool that you have so much flexibility in your job. And they're like, yeah, until Trump takes office. And I was like, where did that come from? Like, do you work for him? Like, I thought it was like the most bizarre comment. But.
And I don't know where that comes from, because it's like, oh yeah, I had nachos Bel Grande for breakfast. You know that the color of nachos Bel Grande cheese is just like the Cheeto Man, right? Are you eating Nazi breakfast? Like, just chill out, bro. I went through the drive-thru. It's $12.05. You could fuck off now. Like, so anyway, open-mindedness, not a rigid point of view. 3, the silent type. There I fucking go. I was doing really well. So people who don't have like pointless, inane conversations that don't feel the need to constantly speak. So I'm out. 4, high adaptability, that they work well with like twists and challenges, that whole adapt and overcome. So there, got that one. Self-control. And Kim is texting me. Danielle is texting me. I think these are old. Self-control. And so self-control is like rational people act with a thought instead of that like lizard brain that like just sees a woman go by like, tits, you know, whatever. And I guess that tits. That said, in the Molly Sleuth chat, I put some tits in there for you kids. Let me put some little titties in there for you. There we go.
Hey!
I love those stupid things.
I can't see them on my side. I just see boobs.
Oh, it's a girl going doing, 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 doing. Number 6, admits faults. So, like, not the fawns. No ego, like honest about who you are, like just admitting where you're at is a sign. 7 is witty, because it shows that you have more verbal skills and your ability to think on another level. I feel like maybe I could get 2 points for that one and forget the whole like silent type thing. I'm just saying, a little credit there on number 7. Number 8, creative, obviously, because your brain can switch away from the rote. 9, high self-awareness, knowing yourself, your goals, your likes, your weaknesses, just like having a good sense of like where you're at in the grand scheme of things. 10, a variety of interests, projects, taking a class, having a side hustle, but not just like busy, but like truly being engaged in different things. 11, preference for solitude and time to reflect. That one's good. And 12, sensitivity to others' feelings. I'm fucking out. I am sensitive to some people. It just depends on who you are. Some people I'm not. You know who you are. And so that's where you're at with intelligence. So that's good. Does anybody have anything to plug? Well, I'm looking. Big Hair Tsunami is in the chat. I got this really great emoji on the Molly Sleuth one. And it's the lady from the like, I've fallen and I can't get up. And so like, she's just like, like over and over again. And I just can't get enough of that. I got to watch it for a second. My reptilian brain is like, yes.
I have something to plug. Thank you, chat. We love you guys. This is our show. And when I say our, I mean the chat, Danielle, Molly, Kimmi. We appreciate you guys. Because I see these shows, they start taking off and they're like, it's just about me and Molly. And no, it's about all of us. Because if it wasn't for you guys, we'd be talking to ourselves like I do when I drink vodka.
Stupid.
No, I appreciate all of our listeners in the chat.
Yeah, totally, honestly. And if you're watching on YouTube, or on the Kate Awakening. We do a Wednesday show, but that's only on the Life Sleuth Molly or Molly Sleuth, whatever the fuck it's called, on Rumble. And on Wednesdays, it's a little bit of an informal chat. And we just talk about like current events and just more of my nonsense. If you think I'm crazy here, it's even less polished over there. So come check it out. I've got good emojis over there for everyone. Titties. And okay, and so
come for the conversation and stay for
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys so much. Next week is the military. I don't know if I'm going to call it Apocalypse Now and Later or Full Metal Jackass. I'm still working on it, but you know that I love to make a good thumbnail for it. So we'll see about that. And I'll be back Wednesday on my own shit, and who knows who's going to come on. So we'll see who wants to deal with my nonsense. And, oh, Danielle, Kim has to go. This is why I'm like totally freaking out. Kim, totally get it. Yeah, I know. It's like, I wish I was that popular.
When my female friends call and they need me,
I know.
They call at the moon and I gotta run.
Totally.
It's the back call.
All right. Thank you, Kimmi.
It was nice meeting you, Kimmi. I hope to meet you again.
Bye, Kimmi.
Thank you, Kimmi. Sorry. Thank you, Kimmi. Sorry.
We only have a few minutes before the police get called on me at work because the alarm gets set. So, but Danielle, you wanted to tell us how you get smarter.
Oh, how do you get I've already lost it, and I'm smart enough to share.
Thank you and good night.
Gosh, I think we talked a lot about these topics. I'll make it very short. I think we talked a lot about these topics already through the whole show today, of like educating yourself, reading a book or listening to a book, especially on topics that you haven't, ever thought of before, learning something new. Sign up to learn to take a class on how to grow your own toothbrush sticks, or how to do these things like making bread. All these people learn this stuff. They talk about all the people learning stuff during the pandemic, like everyone was making sourdough bread and sourdough starters and stuff, and people are making fun of it, but it caught on, and it's like, why wouldn't you make your own bread at home? It's so easy. So I thought it was a really good thing that people started to do, learn things at home. People started crocheting more and sewing more and doing other things they shouldn't have done. But lots of divorce rates because people were finally home with their partner and they're like, oh my God, I fucking hate you. But getting outside, exercising, doing the things. I had mentioned the book, The Neuroscience of You, earlier in the show today. And it was really fascinating. It's a great book if anyone wants to read it. They talked about like the London taxi cab drivers, how their brains modified because they had to learn the layout of the city, and they knew they trained their brains from just doing this repetitive work on how to remember things differently than the average folks. So there's so many activities you can do, whether it's sports related or brain game related, the good ones, not the kind of depression kind.
Can I stop Danielle for just 30 seconds?
Yes.
I had 2 cop partners who became human GPSs. And it kind of goes along with what you're saying. Like they'd find the weirdest up in Hollywood Hills. It's like all curvy and stuff. And he's like, make a left, make a right. So I'm kind of interested in that whole aspect of what you're talking about.
Yeah. You can train your brain to, it's a muscle, just like anything else in your body. So you can train your brain to learn different things, and you're never too old.
Yeah.
And just like I relating is my weirdo brain relating things, but my grandma told me a story about a guy who like had horrible arthritis, but he got up every day because he was a carpenter and did, his woodworking every day. But had he not done that, he probably would have lost use of his hands long before, even though he had the arthritis coming on, but it was because he practiced and did stuff with his hands every morning that he kept them moving, just like mobility in your body and joints. Your muscles the same way. And you have to do things every day to push your brain a little farther instead of just doing the same thing, you know, and talking to people. I didn't get to jump in on the emoji conversation, but I have a lot to say on that. We might have to do a whole other episode on emojis, but you know, I agree with texting is the lowest form of communication. Not enough people are going to have live conversations with people, or no one wants to talk on the phone anymore. I don't know why. Please call me. I'm waiting. I'm standing by. But these conversations that you have with people, especially with people with different perspectives and educations and backgrounds, just opens your mind, makes you smarter, and makes you more accepting of others and tolerant of others, and all of that's just fabulous. So get out there, out in the world. Maybe not right this second. Everyone's experiencing the cold snap this weekend. Maybe do the VR goggles this weekend. But after that, get out, put on a jacket, get out in the world, take walks, explore nature, talk with people, engage with people, find a new task. Somebody was putting here in the chat about welding. It's like, yeah, find yourself a new task, welding, crochet, dancing, anything. All of that stuff helps teach your brain to process things in a different way, and that helps build that muscle. And
they even say when you go to the grocery store, go on the other door and go backwards in the grocery store, like any little thing that gets your mind more engaged. And I think like as cops, we used to do that. Like you don't want to drive the same way home every single night because you don't want to get followed. I've actually had to put out a little backup myself, getting followed home one day. And actually, even back before then, I used to get followed in Hollywood, and you would just like pull into a drive-through and then like drive through, and then they're kind of like, fuck, they can't drive through. But anyway, like taking a different route. When I moved to Michigan, I didn't know north, south, east, or fucking west here because I didn't have any bearings. There's no hills here to go, okay, the beach is there, and like there is in LA. So I do not use GPS, and I just refuse. Like, okay, I know I'm going northwest of here. I either need to go north or west, and I'm just going to wiggle my little way there, and I'll figure it out. And that's where you really get to learn your geography.
Absolutely. I am very geographically challenged. To age myself, I used to have the big giant Thomas guide. So talk about distracted. I was like, okay, next page. Yeah. Like,
H4.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But I would get lost all the time. But yes, that I 100% agree. That is such a fabulous way to not only get to learn your area, but just train your brain and not rely on a phone or GPS or something telling you where to go. Get out there and drive, explore, get lost, and you can pull your phone out if you need to get back home. But you know, get lost and find your way back home.
Danielle, what do you think about watching maybe a foreign movie with a different language? Or
Oh yes, I have subtitles on all the time because I can't see, can't hear. I'm dying every day a little more.
And you should be friends with Danielle and I on Duolingo because we're up in the Duolingo.
Learn another language. Yes, Molly, that's another great thing. Duolingo is so easy. I don't pay for it. I just use the free version, and I'm on day 1782 or something, relearning Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
Está bien.
And mucho gusto.
And I'm learning Japanese, but we can still be friends on Duolingo and challenge each other to get a certain amount of points per day. There's a whole like dopamine, like video game part of it that's a little bit like cheesy, but it really does. You don't want to ruin your streak. You got to get on there and do 50 minutes.
But I love that idea, Randy, of watching films in other languages, and you have the subtitles on. So my kids are obsessed with anime right now. And they have the option where you can listen to the English version, but they have also another option where you can listen to it in Japanese and have the subtitles. And I 100% encourage them to do that. You know, you'll never know what they learn. Oh, what is that? What are you showing us? Oh, so your Japanese characters?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yes. So lots of ways.
It starts you from like the basic bottom, and it really just slowly works you up. There's no point where I'm just like crying like I was in Mrs. Barnes' math class in high school.
Yeah. Oh, Keystone Channel said they started Russian.
Oh, I tried Russian. Nakoshka nie eat sir. The cat doesn't eat cheese. The cat's asshole is on Danielle's lips.
Privet.
But it was too crazy for me. Like, there were letters that weren't, like, at least with Japanese, you start from scratch. Squiggle is like this, and that squiggle is like that. And with Russian, it looks like a B, but it sounds like a Q, and like it's too much for my fucking brain to handle.
Question for you two guys. Do you think differently because of your language? Like how Spanish is blanco, like I'm going to the beach white? Like, do you think it kind of affects the way you think?
I think if you are the language you're born, how am I going to say this? The first language you learn, your first language, if you primarily speak in a second language, so like if I was born speaking Spanish primarily and then I learned English later on, I think that changes in that regard, because I feel a lot of the time you're hearing it in English, you're processing it in Spanish, and then you're putting it back out into English in answering. So I think in those instances, but I do know that there's a lot of cases around people that know multiple languages are more creative, or they're able to see in like things in a more spatial way. It's just because that's their brain has to know all those languages and translate it in a way makes you smarter, makes your brain stronger.
Yeah, Keystone Channel says that she speaks 5 languages, but also like
Whoa.
You're in Europe where you go and eat every meal in a different country. So
yeah,
I speak Valley Girl, and I also comprendo mucho de español. Like because I'm from Los Angeles, I speak 5 languages. They're just not really that different.
When I was a kid. And then I also, in college, I took Romanian. I spoke Romanian for a year.
Really?
Wow.
Ce mă faceți?
I'm only learning Japanese because I want to find a hot Japanese guy, but
In Randy's story with your husband, where you're good people in the community, he could be Japanese.
Yeah.
Japanese husband.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think I told everybody what's coming up. There's all kinds of good tidbits. And if there's anything that you guys want to learn about, pick our brains about, like anonymously ask cop questions, I am Sleuth Molly at Gmail or Molly Sleuth at Gmail. I stole both of them. I'm on the Twitter. I'm on the Pilled. I'm on the whatever. Like, I don't know how you guys fucking do that shit. But anyway, I'm on a bunch of them. I'm not very popular. So, there's that.
Molly, I had a challenge for us, Molly. So this is not an echo chamber. So the audience, invite your friends who have differing opinions and put in some debate questions.
Oh, totally. If you want to be on the show, cool. Wednesdays is a perfect day for that. Let's fuck shit up. It'll be real fun. Anyway. Gracias por todo. I gotta get out of here. The police are gonna come. Okay. Love you guys. If you're on YouTube, I'm getting rid of you right now because you can't see the next part. Sorry. Fucking YouTube. Oh, we didn't even talk about censorship.
Have to have another episode.
I know. Well, truthfully, censorship